see myself as somebody that's a child of God. I think I see myself as someone very fulfilled in my life, and that's come from the community itself. I just see myself as someone who can give back, and it really raises a question of mutuality. I hope that's how people see me. I hope they don't see me as somebody who's unable to do something.
To be the church, to celebrate God's presence, to live with respect in creation, to love and serve others, to seek justice and resist evil.
I began my doctoral work at Emmanuel College. And you know, Emmanuel College, when I first started there, was not accessible. The principal secretary had a very creative thought, and she thought that every Wednesday she would organize the Heavenly Hoist, and she would get 4 men and women to help literally just carry me up. So I was so grateful for the Heavenly Hoist, but buried beneath the gratitude is the embarrassment I always felt every Wednesday at having to be carried up those stairs. But part of the story was the way in which the U of T fundraises. So the original letter that was drafted to get fundraise, to build an elevator, the letter was charity at its worst. Reflected this poor, pathetic, pitiful person who couldn't get up the stairs. So we completely redid it in the context of justice. And if we want this to be a community that was inclusive, where I could participate in the life of the community fully. I have never understood why the issue of disabilities is so difficult to generate energy. Many people think of the issue of disabilities as people who suffer. It's social exclusion of people that leads to prejudice, and it leads to injustice. It's hard for people to think, oh, injustice. You know, it's an injustice to not have your church physically accessible. I think some people feel in churches everywhere that, well, we've got the ramps in, we've got the elevators built, and so end of. But there is still so much more work to be done. And inclusion, you know, in various ways to participate in the liturgy. Liturgy means the work of the people. So we have every right to sort of claim our place at the table, and that's kind of one of the most important things for me in the life of the church, that everybody is, if they would like to read a scripture reading, is able to do that. They want to read the prayers of the people, able to do that. And that has to be a theology that we work towards, a theology of inclusion. One of the things that I think about the theology, our theology, and reimagining a new community, is that theology is not a stagnant thing. Theology is a living thing. If we can reimagine that theology in terms of the issue of disabilities. So the deeper inclusion for me is that people have gotten past my disability and they allow me to be creative. And maybe what we need is an ecumenical prayer cycle that is based on all of these various issues week by week. But maybe we need to add something each week that would focus on a particular issue of disability. One of the ways that we might be able to do it is to have little Bible study groups, for example. That would be a great way of raising up the issue of disabilities, and particularly in that place where so many people have mobility problems, use walkers or electric wheelchairs. So how can we use the Bible, the biblical text, to reimagine ourselves? One of the Advent texts is the Magnificat, this wonderful passage from Luke 1. And it is the Song of Mary, but a revolutionary, radical text that turns everything upside down. You have brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. You have filled the hungry with the good things. You have filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty. Surely that radical and revolutionary way of looking at things can be ours too, in this context of this issue of disabilities. I love the Magnificat.